Welcome. My name's Jamie. I'm so glad to be doing this with you and glad that Marissa invited me here. And it's cool we're able to do things virtually. Next best thing to gather. So, just imagine right now that we're all sitting around in a sacred group with candles and our tea and our sage, and kind of gives us a little bit more of that energetic experience. So I know y'all don't know me, but what I love to do is how I've been explaining it recently is I liberate healers, sensitive souls, lights on this planet to stand in their radiant light and express their gifts on the planet and experience the full magnificence of who they really are. We're handed down a lot of stuff when we come in from our family, from our society, ancestrally. No blame, just kind of what happens. So we lose sight of our own heart, our own gifts. And today what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. We're going to do a little healing, which I'll explain for 10, 15 minutes. Meditation, 10, 15. We'll kind of see how this flow goes. And then I'm going to leave time at the end, however long we have left, to open it up to you all for a question and answer. And if I pause, I'm just letting people in, just so you know what I'm doing. Okay. So today's topic, healing conversation, is on imposter syndrome, which I, in the past, was very familiar with and still pops up into my head from time to time for sure. Just keep letting everybody in. So what I did, I was like, what the heck is even the definition of that? So I Googled it for you all. It says it's loosely defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. It disproportionately affects high-achieving people who find it difficult to accept their accomplishments. Many question whether they're deserving of accolades, so it affects our feelings of deservedness and worth. So what I got from that, doubting your abilities, feeling like a fraud. Now, the funny thing about people who find me is I work a lot with people in groups and a lot of people one-on-one, and people find me who have gifts. People find me, groups find me who have high value, who have, regardless of, I call it our storefront, what we do for a living, regardless of our storefront, we have an energetic component that just brings light to a room wherever we go. That might be, yours might be different from mine. Yours might be a beautiful listener, presence, joy, something like that. But you just being in a room is the healer, is your enoughness. So as I work with people, it's kind of, and not funny in an actually funny way, but it's funny to me that we doubt ourselves so much and think that we're a fraud and think, oh my gosh, what do I have to offer? How am I of value here? We are brought up in a society that emphasizes so much doing. Doing is wonderful. I am a creative soul. I'm always creating things. But we're meant to be in balance. We're meant to be in balance of doing and being, and doing and being. Maybe on a daily basis, maybe on a weekly basis, maybe through the year, right? Like we take a little time off and then we create. And it's an innocent misunderstanding. We're caught up in do, achieve, go, accomplish, because we're looking for a feeling of enoughness. We're looking for a feeling of when I get there, I'll be somebody. When I get to whatever, I'll be enough, I'll be safe, I'll be valued, I'll be respected. But all of those things that we're looking for live inside of ourselves. Enoughness, our gifts, purpose, meaning, it's a state of being. I know it sounds kind of bizarre, but when we start to heal, which we're going to do today, we're going to start in this hour, when we start to let go of these beliefs that we've been swimming in, my value is based wherever, and I'm a fraud because I want to do all these secret things with my life, and like, that's crazy, and that's, who am I to do those things? When we start to heal that, this natural thing arises in us. And it's so funny that I'm on this planet to explain things that are invisible, because it's like all I can do is try to point us in that direction. But for me in my life, I really have seen that the second I allow an emotion to come and it releases, or I do a healing technique, or I'm in a meditation and my mind is quiet and something else pops through, it's this feeling of like, oh, yeah, of course, that's why I'm on this planet. Like we have these, you could call them insights into who we really are. So, what I've seen in my work with people is that all of us have gifts, whether we're aware of them or not. We all have a purpose. We all have a meaning. And we don't have to hear that and go, oh my God, I should feel really bad about myself because I have this grand purpose and I'm not living it. It could be love, to love deeply everyone you come into contact with, to forgive, to bring joy to. You know, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to, again, our mind goes to the physical of this big thing I need to create, my grand purpose. So just know that you have that in you. And if you don't feel it, it's just because there's a bunch of thinking in the way based on conditional love and not unconditional love, which is our birthright. Okay. So, what happens? Most of us, when you're young, you're supposed to have this thing called mirroring, where your family mirrors back to you your sense of self. So, you get validated. They say it's okay, you're lovable regardless of what you do. Now, not all of us have that. I didn't have that, you know? So, if you don't have that, what happens is your inner wisdom pops in and it says, it's this quiet little voice that's like, I want to be a healer and speak to people about soul. And then your mind goes, what? Like, who does that? That's not a job. That's not a thing. Or whatever your little voice is that pops in and says, there's this thing that I want to do. Now, if you had proper mirroring when you were young and you got the messages, hey, that voice inside's okay. That's safe. That's you. That's unique. That's your wisdom. Trust that, you know? You would go, oh, it's okay to trust that. But most of us, innocently, we grow up in a lot of emotional immaturity and we feel invalidated. So we don't trust ourselves because we grow up trusting, we give our power away in this society in such an innocent way, but we trust everybody but our own value and our own voice. We trust the doctors and the leaders and the teachers and the gurus. And it's beautiful to have all of those people as guides. But we're all equal and we all have this incredible knowing of our gifts and our value and our worth. And the only reason you might not be experiencing it is because it probably was not mirrored to you as a child. So it comes and you just discount it. You're like, I can't trust that. Like it's unreasonable. It's not rational. I won't be safe if I trust that. So my work, when I work with people one-on-one, is we go slowly. So that's why I'm giving you all a lot in an hour, but we go slowly to really start to look and go, well, what are my gifts? What do I do? What does light me up? Why am I on this planet? What is the best use of me? Let me look at my entire life and look at all the clues as to why I'm here and what my meaning is. So we start to get really curious about that. And then we start to question, is all the other junk in my head that I'm an imposter or I'm a fraud or I'm not good enough true? And slowly, little bit by little bit, we start to peek out and we go, oh, okay, yeah, I am valuable. And I did help somebody today. It was crazy when I used to be inundated with this. It did not matter. I've been doing this work 10 years. It didn't matter how many people said, thank you, you've changed my life. I was like, should I be doing this with my life? I don't know. I really don't know, because that stuff is trash and it runs deep. I remember I went to see Oprah right before the pandemic. And just so that you all know that we're not alone in this, she was saying, I don't know if anybody else saw Oprah, you can pop in the chat. She was in LA, but she was saying that Obama, Maya Angelou, Jennifer Lopez, like all of these beautiful, successful, incredible people, after they were interviewed by her, they would all sink, get real small and go, was that enough? Was that okay? Did I do all right? And she was like, wow, like everybody is looking for that external validation, because even the greats are like, I don't know if I said the right thing or did the right thing. I'm doubting my own abilities and I could possibly be a fraud. So I think the important thing to address here as we wrap this conversation up is that when you have those thoughts pop in your head, and sometimes they're so visceral you can't see those, but when you have those thoughts pop in your head, you do not need to sit down and have tea with every thought that pops in your head, with every belief that pops in your head. Our thoughts are not ours. We identify with them for 37 years or however old you are. And hopefully you haven't, you're just here for fun, but you've identified with some level of imposter syndrome, right? Again, it's saturated in our consciousness. It's collective. So it looks so normal and we're so afraid to shine because we're like, is it okay for me just to feel enough and know that I'm worthy and deserving of this? Because that's not cool because everyone else doesn't think they're enough. Right? So if you see that stuff come in, I invite you to fiercely question it. Is that true? Like, do I need to be humble right now in this regard? Because it'll start to crumble. You'll start to say, oh no, so and so in my family thought that, and that was just passed down to me. And again, these gifts of yours might be invisible to you, but you have them, right? Let's talk science for a second. We have something in our brain called a reticular activating system. It's a system in our brain that looks for proof of what it believes. So if you believe you do not have gifts or a purpose or that you're a fraud, it will look for examples, like you have this thing in front of you, it will look for examples of that in your environment. And then you will pull that in just on a practical level. So if you start to question those thoughts, you feel those energies, you release those energies, which is what we're going to start to do today, then you open your mind, you literally plant, that's why visualization works. You plant in your reticular activating system, hey, let's look for proof that I have a purpose, that I have meaning, that I am enough, that I'm not a fraud. And you'll start to actually see the emails you get on a daily basis saying you changed my life, or before you discount them and go, oh, that person's just being nice. Or I don't get enough to actually be somebody. So-and-so gets more. They're a better healer, or whatever comes into your head. So just know that reality is available to you. Any reality is available to you if you can be willing to let go of who you thought you were, let go of identifying so tightly to this, and open your mind to, God, that would be cool if I had a purpose and a meaning. And it doesn't matter, my storefront could be anything, right? I could go on and on and on about this topic, but just for time, that's where we'll leave it today. And what I want to do is I want to move into, I know some of you just wrote in the chat. Let me see. Wow, those celeb examples. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. She just listed it and she's like, they're all the same in every interview I've ever done. I actually saw a Marie Forleo interview once where she talked about imposter syndrome, and she said like all these successful people, it's in all of our heads. It doesn't matter. It's just do we want to believe it or not about ourselves? My level of overthinking everything is always on 100%. Totally. I hear you. And that is healable. So anything you want to surrender today, we're in this sacred space of sage and tea and candles together. All right. I want to surrender my overthinking and find my knowing. Confirmation bias. Totally. Exactly. With the reticular activating system. So we're going to go into this healing. We're going to go into this tapping meditation. The way through this imposter syndrome is to start to find your knowing that there is no other choice than to do the thing I came on this planet to do. You start to feel what it feels like inside. And that's a journey. Don't force yourself and rush yourself. Be patient with yourself, right? It's been a 10-year journey for me of going, what's the difference between the trash in my head and my heart? And the stronger that knowing is, where you're like, it doesn't matter what people are thinking about you, how many people show up to your thing, buy your thing, agree with you. You have this feeling inside, deeper than emotions, that goes, no, this just feels right. This is me. This is why I'm here. And so regardless of the external validation you get, you follow it one step at a time. And that's your way through to dismantle this old and to move into this new. Okay, so we're going to start doing that with this healing. So, very short explanation so we can get into it. There's a healing modality called EFT, and it's also known as tapping. It's one of the things that I love to help us feel and move energy. You tap on different acupressure points on your body, and they send good feeling signals to your brain. So, what we're going to do is we're going to tap on the negative round first. And what it does is you have these energetic charges in your body, and you say the negative thing, like, I think I'm an imposter, or whatever we're going to say out loud. And what it's doing is it's saying, brain, relax around this feeling. Don't like fight, flight, or freeze. Don't freeze around this thought, around this energy. Let him feel this. Let it release, because we want the energy to move. So you're going to feel it for a minute, and that's okay. Welcome the feeling so that it can be experienced and released. And it helps you release, like we were talking about before, that old stuff that's been handed down. And then we create a new relationship with our brain, with our reticular activating system, with our nervous system. And we say, hey, let's open our mind to these feelings, to these things. Okay. So if this is new to you, might look weird, just open your mind. You're going to follow along with me. We're going to tap on these points. Okay. It works best if you speak out loud, just to help the energy flow and move. So if you're around somebody, you can whisper too. That's totally fine. Okay, I was going to say if you have music in the background. Oh, here, you know what? Give me 1 second, you all. I have a link for you. This is a song I love to share for healings and meditations. It's on Spotify if you have Spotify. All right. So I can't see anybody's face, so I hope you're all doing all right. You're enjoying the healing. What I want you to do is take a deep breath, close your eyes, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I don't feel like a fraud at all, and 10 being I feel like I have a little bit or a lot of imposter syndrome. I feel like I doubt my abilities. I feel like a fraud. I don't know if I'm worthy and deserving of being this. I don't even know if I have a purpose. That's a 10. Not to judge ourselves. What we're doing is just honoring where we are so we can see after the healing how it helped us. Okay. So again, just let what energy wants to move. We're in a safe, sacred space together. And we're going to move around the body, tapping on these acupressure points, releasing energy. So this is an energetic healing. So take a deep breath into the belly. Let everything go. And repeat out loud after me. Even though I have imposter syndrome, and sometimes I feel like a fraud, and I doubt my abilities, and I don't know if I'm even deserving of the accolades I receive, I love and I accept myself anyway. Okay, we're going to say it 2 more times. Even though I am so embarrassed, I feel like a fraud. Who am I to do the thing I want to do? God, it makes me cringe inside. Whew, this imposter syndrome I have. I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I don't fully know my worth, my enoughness, my deservedness, or the extraordinary magnificence that I am and the gift I bring to the planet, because it probably wasn't mirrored to me as a child, innocently. I love and accept myself anyway. And release. Okay, you can use either hand, either side of the body. So top of the head. Just feeling whatever comes up for you right now, okay? Feeling like an imposter. We want to feel right now so that we can heal. Down to the eye. We're not trying to fix or change. We're welcoming, we're allowing, we're moving energy. Feeling like an imposter. Side of the eye. So embarrassed of myself. Other people have a purpose, not me. Ugh, that hurts my heart. I don't know if I matter that much. I don't know if I can make that much of an impact. Underneath the nose, I'm embarrassed and ashamed and afraid. All this fear of rejection, my deepest fear that I'll put myself out there and I really won't be enough. And I'll feel alone, invalidated, and unlovable and unloved down to the collarbones. Just keep breathing. I doubt my abilities. So much doubt inside of me. It's heavy, this heavy doubt. I don't know, maybe I'm even embarrassed to shine, so I pretend to doubt when I know I have gifts. Center of the chest, but I feel like I need to hide because I feel like a fraud on some level. Top of the head, and it's okay if you feel emotional right now. It's really normal. Just let whatever you need to roll through. You are in a safe space here with me. This is good. Any yawning, crying, sighing, coughing, sneezing, swaying means that the energy is moving. All this fear, side of the eye, exposing myself, exposing my heart and my vulnerability, and not being received, not being seen or heard or valued. Ah, that is gut wrenching pain. So I need to protect myself. Down to the chin, I need to protect myself and not let myself explore my purpose, my value, my light, my enoughness, my gifts in the most simple or profound ways. I don't trust the knowing inside that guides me to who I'm here to be. I value the pain in my mind more because I wasn't taught it's okay to trust my knowing over my brain. My knowing keeps me safe. My brain comes in second. Deep breath. One more round. You're doing great. Just feel whatever's coming through. This is healing you. All this feeling like an imposter, imposter syndrome, all this doubt. I feel like a fraud. I don't even deserve what I receive. Oh, so embarrassed, so ashamed, not worthy and deserving of these gifts. I need to do more. I need to be more. I need to be better in order to receive. I can't just be myself. That's not lovable enough. I need to change myself first or be different than I already am. I don't have what it takes to go and do and live the life of my dreams. I'm a fraud and I'm embarrassed when I show up. Everyone will be like, what was the point of that? You're not really anybody. So I want you to take a moment and, like we just did, stream of consciousness, I want you just to tell me, obviously you're on mute, but just say out loud, what do you feel about imposter syndrome? How does this touch your life? What are your words? So we're just going to do one tapping round, and I want you just to say it out loud because this is going to let you get it out. You've been holding on to this for so long. Tap so that your brain goes, oh, she can feel this. He can heal this. So go ahead and tell me. Keep tapping. Breathe. Good. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Tap on the side of the wrist. We're going to instill some new beliefs. Even though I have carried this imposter syndrome for far too long, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And I'm not quite sure how to heal it, but today at 3:30 in the afternoon here with Jamie, I'm willing. If this is wrong, and this is a program, I'm willing to heal it. I'm willing to see myself differently. And I'm choosing a gentle and easy way to find my value and my purpose. Top of the head. What if it's possible to trust myself? What if it's possible to feel valuable? What if it's possible to feel worthy and deserving of all the love I receive underneath the eye? What if it's my natural state to be a gift in a non-egoic, inflated, rubbing it in people's faces sense? What if it's natural, just like kids know they're enough and they have gifts to offer? What if I do too? And that's okay. And even if it's not modeled a lot in the world, if I can have that, that would be nice. What if I do have gifts and a purpose and I matter? Wow, the thought of that feels really good. And what if it could be as simple as my presence, my open heart, my honesty, my joy, my laughter? And maybe that starts to flow into something I create in the world. But what if just being me is enough? And that I am lovable and worthy and deserving simply for existing. And no one has told me that before. That my lovability is based on unconditionality and not conditions that the world teaches. And so today I let go of the burden I carry, the shame and the embarrassment that I should be different than I am. That in order to have a purpose and gifts, it needs to be grand. I let all that junk go now. And I choose to know that whatever lights me up, that wherever my knowing takes me, that wherever my heart leads and my intuition guides, that that is enough. That that is my value and my purpose and my light, far from a fraud. And what if those thoughts come in and for the first time in my life, I just can observe them and go, oh, look, there's those fraud thoughts. There's those I need to be, do, have, different than I am to be enough. What if I can just witness it and choose to know that when I feel that deeper feeling than emotions of this lights me up, that I'm not crazy, that I just wasn't mirrored, that I can trust that that knowing for my path and my heart is the most 100% reliable system that I have. And today I release the need for external validation because I will never get it there. And I commit to myself, to internally validating my needs, my desires, my wants, my value, my dreams. And I go slow. I open my mind to being of high value and purpose on this planet. And I open my mind to healing whatever comes up that's in the way, by whatever means occurs to me. But I choose to align with knowing my worth and my value and that I am so enough. I will not base it on the looks that other people give me, the amount of money in my bank account, how long the thing takes. I will base it on that deeper knowing inside that lights me up. I will feel it when I will know it. I will feel it. I will know it. And my soul and I will have a recognition. This is my value. This is my purpose. And I have that. I matter. I matter. I have value. I have a purpose. Starting to sound silly to me to think I was a fraud because I have a unique purpose. It's different than everybody on the planet. It only exists in me, so it's just me trusting me now, me believing in me now. And you know what? It's safe to do that. I give myself permission to be enough to live in alignment with my heart. My life doesn't need to change in massive ways. This is just an energy I'm opening up into. And I will take aligned, gentle, slow, sweet action from this place. Clearing all these thoughts and beliefs today that I came to clear down to my DNA, back through my past about being a fraud. I let it all go. And today, because I choose it, I come home to me, to my soul, to my heart. Taking a deep breath, put your hand on your heart. Let it all go. One more deep breath. Release. Good. Just let everything settle. You might be feeling a lot. You might be feeling calm. I want you just to tune in. Where's your number? 1 to 10. If I say to you, I have imposter syndrome, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Has it dropped? Has it dropped drastically, cut in half? Do you feel a little bit more skeptical of that? You don't even need to know how it'll change, why, this, that. Just how do you energetically feel? Is there a shift? Is there a movement? And to know that you can keep coming back to things like this until the energies completely shift. Okay. So I want you just to stay in your quiet place. We're going to move into the meditation now. And after the meditation, I'm going to give you guys a moment just to jot anything down from the meditation. So if you just want to have a, notepad or your phone notes, something near you, because you might get some insight that you're going to want to remember. So I put a link to some music in the chat. You can put that on, or you can pop in whatever music you want. Oh, you know what? That's a podcast link. Maybe? No. Maybe that is the right link. Give me 1 second. Oh, no, that's correct. That is the correct link. It just had a weird name. All right, so just get comfortable in your space. You don't even need music. Okay, beautiful. It was working. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to ground into our bodies. So you can sit up, you can lay down. Ain't no rules here with me. So feel your body on the ground or on the chair. And just start to become aware of moving from your thinking. We're not trying to stop our thinking. We're just moving from our thinking down to our body. Just take an elevator down and you just start to become aware of your feet and your ankles and your legs, your belly and your back and your chest, your arms, hands, face, head. And you start to have this feeling for maybe being out of your body or up in your head or sped up, and you're just taking that elevator down and you're grounding into your body. And you are becoming aware of the connection between your body and the ground, the chair or the bed. And you're going to take 3 gentle breaths into the belly. So you bring your breath from the upper chest down into the belly. Nice and slow. Just consciously allowing yourself to slow down. Bottom on the ground, in the body, in the belly, in the breath. And release. Good. You're just letting all that energetic work you did settle. I am allowing all parts of me here. I release judgment of my dark and my light, and I welcome all of my wild parts. I'm just laying here surrendered. And just let that body start to relax. As there is an adult in the room now, your being in your body, here to take your hand, to listen to you. Good. I want you just to begin to melt like butter into bread, down into the seat, down into the bed, wherever you are. Every exhale, you begin to let go a little bit more. Relaxing, grounding in, slowing down. Knowing that I am paying attention to the time so you can just follow my voice and dive a little bit deeper into your unconscious to heal today. You are in good hands. You're safe to let go. Feel my energy. There you go. One layer deeper. Exhale. Relax. Settling a little bit deeper within yourself, the safety of your own space. And as we settle in, we allow the mind to quiet as we move into the present, into the body. Letting the clouds come and go without our attachment to them right now. As we travel a little bit deeper into the heart. As if you are just laying by a pond, pondering life, but not really needing an answer. I want you just to ask the question to yourself, letting the answer dawn on you in its own time, perhaps today or tonight or tomorrow. We're just planting the seed. I wonder what the best use of me is on this planet. I wonder what my gifts are, my purpose. What am I here to share? What is my greatest light, my greatest gift? What is the best use of this body, this being, this soul, this time around? You might just get a little sense or a clue or a feeling. I want you just to ask yourself, what is the biggest misunderstanding in my head, in between me and this? And once you have a sense of the energy or the feeling or the misunderstanding or belief, just asking yourself, is this true? 100% provably true. this thing in the way. And am I willing to surrender this misunderstanding, this fear, this block between me and my light up? Am I willing to allow this to be shifted and changed and healed for me? All you need is your willingness, and then the breadcrumbs, the aligned action will follow suit. As we surrender this up, we make space for our truth. And we ask our heart one small action step that may make absolutely no linear sense to our head. My heart, my soul, my spirit, my essence, my love, the little one inside of me with these big hopes and dreams, with these gifts. What is the next step in the direction of illuminating my enoughness? As we breathe this in, we ask one last question. Maybe the answers are coming now, they might come later. Just a gentle receiving of wisdom. We ask our knowing that is reliable and safe, that guides us to our path, our purpose, our gifts, our enoughness. How do you speak to me? How can I recognize you in my body and in my heart? How do you reveal yourself to me beyond my mind? Breathing in this newfound wisdom as you allow it to integrate into your being on all levels. Honoring yourself by saying, I hear you, I see you, I honor you, I believe in you now. And I'm willing to walk this path, to shed the layers of the false beliefs and to step proudly into my light. Knowing that there is a version that is safe. As you take 3 deep breaths into the belly and release. Slowly allowing yourself to gather all parts of you back into this time and space, aware of the body connected underneath of you on the furniture. You are aware that you're right behind your eyes and you're planted in your body, present in the breath. And whenever you feel ready, you can begin to start to stretch and wiggle your way back to the afternoon, opening your eyes whenever you're ready. And I'm going to give you all the next minute. If there's anything that came through, to go ahead and jot that down. before we move into just chatting and any questions you might have for me? Going ahead and just gently wrapping up what you're doing. If you feel you want to keep taking notes and not participate in the Q&A and that's more important to you, then just mute it and continue to journal. I'm happy for you to follow whatever feels best for you right now. Um, but just slowly stretching and wiggling and bringing yourself back.